Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle video tutorial on Photoshop and gradient stripes. These are vertical gradient designs that I'm just going to show you how to quickly create them. So first thing to do is just go to a completely fresh document and I'm just going to quickly create a rectangle. So there's a rectangle and I'm just going to add it. Now you can go any size. Let's go for a slightly bigger size. Obviously I don't want it all super thin. You can make it as thin as you want. Make it very thin. Or obviously to make it quicker, I'm just going to create very quick like that. And the key thing is that it's a shape and you can set the fill up here. What you can do, you can hold down the Alt or Option key with the move tool there and simply drag. And what you can do, you can rotate the design around. However, that's going to be no use if you want to change it. So what you want to do, you can, I'm just going to stop and undo that. What you can do, you can select this first one and you can turn it into a smart object. Smart objects are super useful because you can update them at any point. So layer, smart objects, convert to smart object. And now you can go back and change the color at any time. So let's just quickly select that. Well, you could of course go and do it any time with all the others as well. But say you got 50 or 600 of these stripes all the way along. You could change them. You could of course have different colors in all of them. That would be, you would have to do it that way. But it would be, unless you use adjustments, I guess. However, you've got these designs, and you might suddenly think, you know what, I want a different gradient. Smart object, super useful. So let's just hold down the Alt or Option key and just drag there. Now you can rotate that. And it's still a smart object. That's exactly the same there as the first one. And of course, what you can do, select both of those, hold down the Alt or Option key again, and just drag. Now, of course, I'm not going to match it exactly on the other side. That was near enough inevitable. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but hold down the Shift and you can resize it. Now you might see a little bit of a gap. Doesn't look it, I can see there anything there. However, you got that design. It's exactly the same as this design, just happens to be obviously thinner there. But what you can do, you can always go to this over here to the layers. That's window in layers, and simply double click. And you're inside that, and you can turn around. You know what, let's just go to that tool and you can change the fill and you can just go through that, or you can go to the properties. So window and properties, got properties. Unfortunately this is very small, this tiny little fill bit there. You can change it, you can run through all these designs and they're all exactly the same, because the key thing is over here you can see with your fill you've got 90 degrees. That's the key thing. So have it as a straight line, vertical. So you've got yellow, and you can also, of course, you can always rotate it around. You want just the other way around, perfectly reasonable as well. So you can change it. Now it's a PSP document. As a PSP document, just close it, save. It's not saving it to anything on your disk, but you've got, it might be, I don't know. It's saving it some temporary location. It's not saving. Now, what you can then do, of course, you've got this design now and you can change it again. So obviously it's not the same as that one. That one is just using the rainbow one. So if I just quickly double click on there and you can see there, I go over here and it's this one. So you've got this design. And of course you can apply effects and things. You can actually turn this into a smart object or maybe distort the design and so on and so on. There's a load of different things you can do. You can always flatten it as well. Of course then you can't change colour. But say you've decided, you know what, I want this. This is the colour I want. You can always flatten it. You don't have to have it sort of, and then you can decide, you know what, I think I'll have something else. I think a change. So I'm just going to select, make a selection in the middle. So there's a nice selection there. And I can go to the gradient again. And I can then go upwards. Let's select a different gradient. I wanted the one. Let's just go down here. Legacy gradients there. Expand out. And you can see there's the gradient there. And just create a different design in between. And then of course you can always create maybe other designs, maybe a circular selection, add other designs there. So once you've done that, you can close this or you can recolor it. Image, adjustments, maybe hue and saturation. Let's just change the color. So you can tweak it. Maybe apply a blur. So filter and go to blur, Gaussian blur. You've got a nice smudgy sort of effect there as it goes up. Or maybe use motion blur. Even better probably than the other one, this one. So once done that, close it. So save. And now you can see you've got your gradient there. Now obviously it's slightly odd, slightly unusual, but you can see the sort of general gist of things you can do. You can go to this one again. This one's exactly the same. You've got all the lines. It's all one smart object. So double click on that and then you can change this design. And of course you can always hold down the shift, resize it, and you can duplicate this design. So you can hold down the Alt or Option key. Whoops. You can combine that. Maybe use different blend. You've got, so these are obviously layers, so you can just quickly go down there and maybe go to difference. And you can duplicate that again. And you of course can have it slightly off to shift there or there. Just shift it slightly and create a whole load of different designs. And you can see you can create a very unusual gradient, very quick and easy there. And I'm just going to just zoom in so you can see the sort of general mix of colours you've got there. And again, close it down, save, and you can see the result there. So you can create some, and of course once you're happy with everything, you don't want to do any more changes, etc., you can always go to layer and you can flatten the image. Once you've got that, of course, then you can go and apply some effects. So maybe go and apply liquefy or whatever. So you can distort the design in numerous ways to create maybe a slightly more unusual vertical gradient design. And press OK. Well, hope you found this tutorial of interest. Always adding new tutorials all the time about Photoshop, Illustrator, Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer. Also, any comments, any questions, please let me know. Always happy to. And also, please check out the Graphicxtras website. Always adding lots and lots of tutorials on there. And I'll be putting updates and information about these sort of things on the Graphicxtras.com website. Also, a dislike or like. Thank you much.